CC, how impressive was the Saints' 45-35 win over the Rams?
Well, just the whole game. And in watching NFL action, I'm a huge fan of football, and especially at the professional level. But, man, this was an excellent football game. This was pro football and all the rules that we have in a perfect setting inside the Mercedes Superdome. And these quarterbacks and the way these offenses are run, it's very, very entertaining. But what the Saints have done, and forget about Sean Payton just for a second. Dennis Allen, the defensive coordinator, the way they got started with those first 2.5 games, I mean, they got bombed by Fitzy Magic in week number 1. First pass play of the season, I think D-Jack goes for 75. That's how we're going to start our season. Mirrored how they started in 2017 defensively. Now, a lot of people tend to forget about the Minneapolis Miracle because if the Saints, they don't have that play with Stephon Diggs happen, they go to Philadelphia. And I believe, after what I saw, the Saints would have been more equipped to go against that defense in Philadelphia than Case Keenum and the Vikings were. So, man, where they've come since week number 1, defensively, they won 7 games in a row, and it's because they keep turning the ball over. Collectively, they participated. No, not the Packers. Oh, no, we don't need to participate. They went and got Eli Apple. Why? Dennis Allen, Sean Payton, they got a bunch of Ohio State guys on that team they can believe that can help them. And then now on the offensive side of the ball, we see a star emerging in Michael Thomas. He's dominated this year. Him and Adam Thielen have the best years. And Tyreek Hill, they're in Kansas City. Those 3 wide receivers have been the best in pro football. And you saw last night, if you continue to give him a lot of man-to-man, like, he will break you down, and that's what ended up happening late in the 4th quarter where he scores the big touchdown to seal the game.
To your point on Michael Thomas, he caught 80% of the balls thrown to him yesterday. That lowered his percentage for the year.
Yes.
He was going into the game catching 90% of the balls thrown to him. Right there, they took advantage of what I believe to be a less than 100% Marcus Peters, which is a story to watch on the Rams side of things for a while now. Talib out, Peters has not been himself since he suffered his injury, and that sealed the football game. What the Saints have is, we know how great their quarterback is, we know how great their coach is, but they now have what I believe to be the best running back and the best wide receiver Drew Brees has ever played with. I do, with respect to Joe Horn and Marcus Colston, I don't think he's ever had a receiver playing at the level Michael Thomas is.
No.
And I know he hasn't had a running back, with respect to even Mark Ingram's Pro Bowl seasons, playing at the level Alvin Kamara is. And it was such a pleasure for me.
I think the combination of both of them, the totality of it, makes it really, really special.
And in today's NFL, the skill set Kamara has as a receiver is as valuable as it's ever been in this league.
Yes.
And it was such a pleasure to me to hear Troy Aikman point out that he pointed out, it was so funny on the broadcast, the stem of his route, which the only reason it was a pleasure for me to hear is a year ago, this week I think, maybe a year and 2 weeks ago, you stood right here and talked with him about the stem of his route and about how you could see that he was already becoming a wide receiver as a running back, but there were certain things he needed to clean up a little bit.
Early last season, what I could see was he was offset. The quarterback was right behind the center in shotgun. He was offset. When he would come out, he would veer out towards the sideline, which would give the DB or the linebacker more information that he was going to break out. Now, what Sean Payton has done this year, he has him breaking inside now. So now with that read of going inside, it holds the DB inside, but he stays very fundamental and gets his stem straight where he has a 3-way go. He breaks out on the guy. That's their #1 play on third down.
It seems to be unguardable. If you really can, if he can choose to go 3 different places and Drew Brees can place the ball the way he can, I don't know what you could possibly do against it. Whether he's against a linebacker or a corner, I don't really know how much it matters. And then you have, on this game specifically, the sequence that turned the whole football game. The fake field goal that I thought they actually picked up, but it was so close you couldn't overturn it. Saints touchdown. Missed field goal, Saints touchdown. Interception, Saints touchdown. Now it's 35-14. And, like, with the way the Saints are running, the Rams made it close, but it was going to take some massive New Orleans mistakes for the Rams to be able to come back down 21 in that building.
Did this prove they're the team to beat in the NFC?
Well, I just think the Rams, who they've played, they haven't had a tough schedule as Kansas City. So Kansas City, even though with one loss, we've been saying, you know something, they have a tougher test. This was a very good test. The Rams played within 7 days. They played the Green Bay Packers, got on the plane, went to New Orleans, played them. So I just would say that wherever team is playing at home, they have the advantage. Because if New Orleans can play at home, man, Drew Brees has a huge advantage. But I believe that the Rams, I believe these teams are very, very, depends on coming down the stretch. The Rams have a couple players going to be coming back. Talib will be coming back.
Right.
How much better will the Saints be? I would say right now, I would still go with the Rams as far as the best team. That was a good game yesterday, home field advantage, because these are the 2 1 and 2 seeds, all right, coming down to the wire.
And listen, Carolina's going to try to get involved in that, but right now these look like the 2 best teams in the NFC.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the thing that I would say. I do think home field advantage is key here. I think home field means so much more for New Orleans than for the Rams. I think if the Saints can secure the 1 seed, which they are far from securing it, but had they lost yesterday, they'd have been almost eliminated from contention for securing it. They're going to be nearly impossible to beat in that building. That's why this game was so important. We see the energy in that building. There's only a few stadiums, I feel, that give you a legitimate, tangible, move-the-score home field advantage. The other ones, I think, are marginal. The Saints have one of them. You mentioned Kansas City, Seattle, Denver, Gillette. There's a handful of stadiums. The Saints have one of them. That's why this game was so critical. Brees was great. And that run defense, it wasn't fake. The number
on paper, yes.
The Saints had the number 1 run defense in football going into the game. We said Friday, do we really believe it? It's not like Gurley was held to nothing, but if you can get him to only hand the ball to Gurley 13 times, you're winning that matchup. Saints have to be thrilled about that.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from First Things First, or go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.